Strong bonds may exist between humans and animals, but depending only on these bonds to keep you safe might be risky. A lioness that this man had saved did something incredible when he saw her again 7 years later. Most of us share a strong and inspirational relationship with our pets, which are typically cats, dogs, or even tiny animals. While playing, certain pets may inadvertently hurt us, but not fatally. These aren't deadly predators with paws that can kill you with a single swipe, razor-sharp fangs, or a maximum weight of 500 pounds, 228 kilograms. That is accurate, though. If you own a lion as a pet, Evan, while mature lions might be dangerous, they are nonetheless really adorable as little cubs. One man was enticed to cuddle with one of those little kittens, and that is exactly what happened to him. Animal trainer Adolfo was presented with a little cub in a dreadful situation. People didn't know how to take care of her and wanted to keep her as a pet. She was afraid and hungry. She probably wouldn't have survived for many more days if he hadn't taken action, so he realized he had to do something to bring her to safety. For this reason, Adolfo rescued the little cub and took her to a refuge for wild animals, where he could take care of her and even teach her. She was a small little ball of fluff at that point, in need of a lot of love and attention. He made the decision to give her the name Kiara. Although the Lion King served as inspiration, Adolfo attached certain unique connotations to the name. In many languages, it might signify both bright and God's precious light. Adolfo realized that Kiara had truly turned into the source of light and happiness in his life. He treated her as a dad should have and referred to himself as her adopted father. He would take care of her every need, make sure she was happy and healthy, and show her love and affection. However, this kitten would not grow up to be a house cat that you could keep in your house. She would obviously require more as she grew up than the wild animal refuge could offer. With his adopted lion daughter, whom he adored, what would Adolfo do? She grew swiftly and continued to grow until she was a big and fully formed lioness. But for many months, her only desire was to receive his love and care. Adolfo attempted to care for her fully for a while, but it became more difficult to retain her as new laws were passed. It was obvious that she wouldn't be able to stay at the sanctuary when she began to sneak up on some of the animals, honing her hunting techniques. Kiara could no longer stay with the other animals since she was unaware of her innate instinct and strength. Adolfo was responsible for ensuring the safety of every animal. In addition, he had to make sure Kiara lived a happy life and had the opportunity to fully embody the characteristics of a true lion. Although she continued to enjoy cuddling with Adolfo, she was becoming to pose a threat to both people and animals. He had no choice but to begin organizing their next move. Kiara's return to the wild was something that many thought should happen, but it was just not feasible. It would be impossible for her to go food hunting by herself. If she ventured into the wilds of Africa, she wouldn't have any support because lions also live in families. Regretfully, there was just no choice. Sending her to a facility where the caregivers are familiar with large cats and their needs was the next best thing to do. In Mexico City, he discovered the Black Jaguar White Tiger Foundation, and they consented to adopt Kiara. Kiara would have an amazing time there and live out her dreams. The charity is committed to providing for the requirements of large cats, but there would be a significant drawback. She would be far from Adolfo. His adopted daughter would probably forget who he is and build other attachments, so he wouldn't be able to visit her very frequently. With an aching heart, he decided to let her go. She proceeded to the foundation and made herself at home. Kiara appeared melancholy and despondent for a while, but eventually she found a new family and recovered her former personality. While Kiara appeared to have moved on and forgotten her adoptive father, Adolfo never forgot the cub he had reared. He had a strong desire to return, but several obstacles prevented him from doing so. Initially, the organization had requested that he stay away for a little. Kiara felt depressed, and seeing him would probably make her situation worse. He had to take care of other animals at the same time. Reaching the foundation would be costly and challenging. He also has a business to run. He is passionate in training animals in addition to being a business owner. He never forgot Kiara in the midst of it all. Adolfo never stopped thinking of the large brown lioness with the golden eyes, even if it seemed like she had gone on. Her eyes were always speaking to him. Adolfo finally had the time and money to pay them a visit after they had been away for 7 years. He needed to check on her personally, even if she was unlikely to remember him, though it's a long time. Would their love have lasted 7 years? After arriving at the refuge, he proceeded to meet her. There was a great deal of suspense since nobody could predict with certainty how things would turn out. He had traveled a great distance, and everyone was hoping Chiara would show some sign of memory for the man who had been her adopted father. Adolfo was granted permission to enter Chiara's enclosure since he is an animal trainer, but the Foundation officials made it obvious that he was entering at his own risk. This can be a risky decision. What if she was completely forgetting about him? What if she reacted negatively because she felt abandoned? What if instead, she perceived the guy in front of her only as a threat? Chiara was nothing like the lovable cub Adolfo had known all those years before. She had matured into a lioness, taking care of a new clan. Human parents were a thing of the past by now. Anything might occur. Adolfo pulled open the gate and entered. Chiara seemed to start acting abnormally right soon. She was examining him intently and pacing up and down. Once more, she halted to gaze at him as he shouted her name. Adolfo looked to be at ease the entire time, although he didn't appear afraid. Should he be? She raced toward him and attacked. The guy was easily brought to the ground by the enormous lion. The folks surrounding them were in complete disbelief. Were they going to see the unfolding of a massive tragedy? For several moments, it appeared to be so. Then an incredible event occurred. As it appeared, Chiara was attacking Adolfo, but in reality, she was giving him a hug. She noticed him right away and knew who he was. Her odd reaction was more like that of a daughter who was ecstatic to see her father than that of an enraged lioness. And when they played together, Adolfo knew that she would always act in this kind manner. She rested her head on his chest, embraced his legs, and hung on. It was really quite amazing. Many of the Foundation's employees were moved to tears as they were in awe. He still loved her as much as he loved this deadly lioness. The fact that she appeared unwilling to let him go was among the most peculiar aspects. She snuggled against him like she was still a tiny little cub, holding onto him with her legs and claws. It seemed as though she was unwilling to let him go. This answered whatever doubts someone may have had regarding Lion's long-term memory. The two of them were still in love and had a strong relationship, even after 7 long years. Adolfo will always be in Chiara's memory, and she was obviously thrilled to finally see her father in person. Did you realize that a person and a wild animal could have such a strong bond? If you had been the target of a large predator, how would you have reacted? We appreciate your presence here today. Come back soon for yet another wonderfully touching video.